A very good evening to everyone present here. There are some general guidelines. First is that you can turn your cameras on for the valedictorian ceremony. And number two, please keep yourself muted during the session. I request to all the participants to please turn your cameras. We are starting now. Thank you so much. So, a very warm good evening to everyone who has joined us today. I am extremely overwhelmed to get this opportunity to address you all in this valedictorian ceremony of first Sankhla and Associates Natural Virtual Moot Court competition organized by the Amicus Curie. My name is Shambhavi Dubey, and I'm the convener for this co-convener for this competition, and I'm really grateful for that. Well, I like to start with one thought that comes to my mind from of APJ Abdul Kalam, that dream is not that which you see while sleeping. It is something that does not let you sleep. And this was something that we witnessed for past 3 days. The struggles, the hard work, everything of delivered by the participants and the organizers, all of it boils down and comes down to this day, which is today this ceremony. The participants that we shall witness today receiving honors for their talents will grow up to the responsible citizens of tomorrow. May they grow up to be make us proud and achieve the highest human values. I am really thankful that Amicus Curie gave these participants an opportunity to participate in this moot court competition and show their talents and turn out with the best arguments on best grounds. I'd like to tell you something about the Amicus Curie. It is the brainchild of several legal luminaries and eminent personalities across the country and globe. TAQ is a dream online platform which aims at proliferating legal knowledge and providing an ingenious understanding and cognizance of various fields of law to make sure that the legal knowledge that is penetrated is in every nook and corner of ever-growing legal fraternity. Through ambition and studious legal brain across country, TAQ aims at providing valuable contributions to contemporary legal issues and developments in an omnipresent field of law to the masses. Amicus Curie is also registered under Indian Partnership Act 1932 and Ministry of MSME Government of India, and is also an ISO registered organization. Amicus Curie is also currently the 8th largest legal website in India, connecting more than 20,000 students across the country, over 80 plus law schools in India. And we have just completed our 2 years recently in September. all the participants and members attending the event, I'll also like to inform you that for today's event, the chief guest is Dr. Subramanian Swamy, the former Cabinet Minister of Law and Justice and a former Member of Parliament. Our guest of honor and patron today is Mr. Kapil Sankhla, Managing Partner at Sankhla and Associates. Hello, sir. Our guest of honor, Mr. Abhash Parikh, Managing Partner, GL Parikh Law Chambers. I'd like to tell you something about Sankhla and Associates. It is a full-service commercial and corporate law firm with pan-India presence and global footprint. The law firm is associated with some of the best lawyers in India, the UK and Singapore. The legal team of lawyers and corporate consultants provide a personalized, tailored legal solutions to individual companies, business, and corporations. Our corporate lawyers, their corporate lawyers, litigation lawyers, bankruptcy lawyers, and company lawyers are well recognized in the field of insurance law, bankruptcy law, recovery and debt management, corporate law, adversary, insolvency, and bankruptcy law, etc. Well, about Mr. Kapil Sankhla. Having founded Sankhla and Associates nearly 20 years ago, he's currently the managing partner of the firm, and he has been practicing since 1999 and has been awarded and coveted Super Lawyer of the Year 2016. His experience covers a broad range of areas relating to dispute advisory litigation and arbitration, corporate and commercial matters, white-collar crimes, employment, infrastructure and aspects of public policy and administration, governance and ethics. He has been listed as one of the leading lawyers in India in various publications from time to time. Mr. Kapil Sankhla has been the empaneled counsel for various government departments, and the major representative clients include JIL, DDA, DSIDC, DJP, Waqf Board of Chandigarh, Life Insurance Corporation of India, and various private organizations like Shriram Life Insurance Company Limited, SpiceJet Limited, CH2M Hill, DHI India Water and Environment Limited, Alchemist Group of MDLR, Group of Companies, Era Infra Limited. Well, members, if I can go on about the achievements by Mr. Kapil Sankhla, and what I have just introduced to you about them has definitely inspired me. And I would request Mr. Kapil Sankhla to please motivate the students who have put a lot of effort in past 3 days and make this competition a success. They await to listen something motivating from you, sir.
Thank you, Shambhavi. It's been extremely kind and a very generous introduction. More importantly, thank you, Amicus. I've been associated with you before on earlier occasions as well. And it's always been a wonderful opportunity to interact with extremely young and extremely bright minds. I'm very happy, obviously, to see such young, talented group of people who got together and created this association that have together not only assimilated knowledge, and this was also, I remember that many such classes were taken to ensure that the knowledge is assimilated, is exchanged, ideas are exchanged, there are discussions that go on. And that's not just, just online, but also ensuring that even offline, a lot of wonderful things are happening. This national virtual moot court competition, for example, is a fantastic opportunity. I think it's one of the best things that has happened. And I'm very happy to tell you this, that I think you're aware that I teach in various colleges. I teach in NLU, Delhi, I teach in RG NLU, I teach in certain institutes which prepare for judiciary examination and things like those. And in the last few weeks, there have been more than 45, 50 students who come to me at various stages asking and inquiring about national virtual moot court competition. And we're very happy that that Sankhla and Associates has associated itself with Amicus. And I was, and let me tell you, and this was in places like RG NLU Delhi, RG NLU, certain students. There were certain other students I met in the High Court who came to me and said our lawyers also permitted to participate. And it was an excellent. It was an eye-opener that that's the kind of reach that Amicus has, and it's actually very beautiful. I mean, I've been told that this has been a mammoth exercise and it's quite a successful one. I've been told that there have been more than 57 odd teams that have participated in the inaugural event. And I think it's one of the largest events that has taken place in recent past. I think I already know that there have been several NLUs that have participated. There have been several private universities that have participated. And I've heard and I've been fortunate enough to sit through certain discussions and get some information as well, because my associates were also hearing this, and I've been told that it has been quite a spirited performance by most of the students. And when I started teaching at NLU, let me tell you this, I was told by the high and mighty there that the only grouse was that most of the children from NLU Delhi and from NLUs usually want to get into corporate field, they want to get into commercial law. And we were discussing this, and I said that, but litigation lawyers are the protectors of the realm of the democracy, of the due process of law. They are the ones who actually question the police, the prosecution, the justice delivery system. We are the ones who challenge and question every aspect just to ensure that better laws are created, just to ensure that laws are protected, that there are better processes that are put into place. And I think as lawyers, this is extremely important. I've been a lawyer now for 24, 25 years. I still feel like a student of law. And it's actually quite excellent. I've been mostly on the criminal side. Sankhla and Associates, of course, is a Dr. Swamy said, Namaskar, what a personal honor to share space with you. But I read somewhere, for litigation lawyers, that my job as a lawyer is to digest other people's pain. It tastes bitter, it tastes painful, tear-filled, reminiscent of times past or times that haven't passed. But it's not a job that you want as a litigation lawyer. It probably is not a job that's worth it. But yet we toil because we just hope that we may just change the society. Amongst us is Dr. Swamy, who probably has lived it. I can proudly say, one of the biggest fans that you would ever have, sir. I'm sure you have millions of fans. And I was telling someone the other day that when I, as a young lawyer, somebody told me, and I had very big dreams. I wanted to do something different rather than toil in Tisari and High Court and Supreme Court, doing what the mundane practice of law that everybody does. And somebody told me to do that. What you need to do is that you need to have a mentor. As a first generation lawyer, of course, there was no reach to find a mentor. They said that, like Eklavya, you can find someone. And say 24, 25 years back, sir, I started reading, and I have to say this to you, and this is for everyone here as well. That 24, 25 years back when I started reading, I read, of course, we all had read Keshwanand Bharati. I had read a lot of books on Mr. Nani Palkiwala, and I'd heard that there was a judge who told his brother judge that don't listen to him too carefully, he may mesmerize you. And I thought that this was my role model. This is what I wanted to do, and this is what I did. I read practically everything I could about him, and I created templates. It is a model code of conduct for a lawyer, so to say, a template to achieve greatness. But of course, I could not reach out to him. He isn't amongst us. And then somebody said that you need somebody closer home, somebody who's the Chanakya of today's time, somebody who's smart enough, somebody who's intelligent enough, somebody who's achieved greatness that you would like to emulate. But he's right there. Probably you may never be able to meet him. Probably you will never be able to greet him. But the fact that he's there in living flesh means that you can aspire to be someone like him. And then I discovered Dr. Swamy. I discovered the kind of things that he had done. As a lawyer, everyone, a lawyer is not somebody who passes the examination, becomes a member of the bar. I think a lawyer is somebody who protects the law, who fights tooth and nail despite whatever adversary there is. It doesn't matter, how big Goliath is, but you stand strong. And we've all seen that in Dr. Swamy. I think we've all learned that one man can make a difference. One man can make a change. One man can just stand tall and say, this is what the law is, and I will protect it till my last breath. And I will make sure that others follow suit. And I think it's an absolute honor today, sir, that we have you amongst us. And I said that, and I was saying that you would have millions of fans in India and abroad. And I'm sure there are hundreds and thousands of people who emulate you, sure, try and copy you, try to make a difference, read everything that you've written, see you on national channels. Hope that someday they will be able to do 1/10 of what you're doing. But I can shamelessly tell you that you won't find a bigger fan and a shishya to a guru who's very far off, Eklavya, ready to cut his thumb off for you. It's an absolute honor.
Don't do that.
No, sir, the left one, sir. The right is used for writing. But an absolute honor, sir. I mean, Amicus, I have to thank you. I didn't know when Sankhla and Associates is associating with you. I thought it's all for the students. I did not know that, something as wonderful as this is going to happen, that I'm going to share space with Dr. Swamy. Sir, the students have done a fantastic job. They've worked very, very hard. It's very heartening to see such bright minds, such fantastic lawyers to be budding lawyers. I was just saying that in NLU, what was told to me is that if I could change the mind of some students, make them get on from the corporate horse to become litigators and litigation lawyers, to be the last protectors of democracy, because without challenging the system, questioning the system, protecting the system, I mean, we would just Talibanize everything. I mean, there would be no rule of law. And I'm very happy to see these young, bright students, and I'm very sure that they would become fantastic litigators. I am dying to listen to you, sir, so I'm going to cut this short. I'm going to leave it. I would rather listen to you than like a fan go on and on about you, sir. Over to you, sir. Pranam.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for telling us about your experience. And definitely, we all are a very big fan of Subramanian sir here. And thank you so much for compelling us for our results of the amicus curiae, this moot court competition. It would not have been possible without you. And as it is our first flagship event for Sankhla and Associates National Virtual Moot Court Competition, so it has a very long to go ahead, and we will take this name with us and carry us with pride. And it is really like it has been a very successful event. Like to a total of 57 teams pan India participated from all the government colleges and private colleges, and we have heard some exemplary arguments here. All the judges who were judging our competition, they have spoken great words about our competition, and it is going to spread farther and farther. So thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Our guest of honor, Mr. Abhash Parikh, who is the managing partner of GL Parikh Law Chambers. He was supposed to join us as well. I would like to tell all of you something about him, that he's an advocate in India and alumnus of National Law University, Odisha. He's the managing partner of GL Parikh Chambers of Law. He specializes in disputes resolution, construction law, data protection laws, and fintech. Abbas sir has assisted the Honourable Supreme Court and various Honourable High Courts on numerous counts and cater to the needs of the clients efficiently. He has a deep interest in disputes resolution, especially international commercial arbitration, and has been appointed as a sole arbitrator in more than 25 disputes of high commercial value. He is a member of Chartered Institute of Arbitrators, APT grade member of Prime Dispute, member of Rising Arbitrators Initiative, Digital Committee member at CyberArk, and a member of various international arbitration institutions. He is the founder of People Against Climate Change, a non-governmental organization aimed at identifying solutions to alleviate and tackle the growing menace of climate change. Abbas sir is a public-spirited person who is known for his dedication and determination, among other traits. But unfortunately, friends, he could not be here with us because he got some urgent court work. And but his message to us is that he blesses us with motivation and wants all of you to flourish and success. So thank you so much to sir. I'd request Mr. Rupam Banerjee, the founder of Amicus Curiae, to please take the floor here.
Thank you, Sambhavi. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
It would be an honor for me to welcome today's chief guest, Dr. Subramanian Swamy, the former Cabinet Minister of Law and Justice and Commerce and former Member of Parliament, both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. I'll start with this introduction first. Dr. Subramanian Swamy is an Indian politician, economist, and statistician. Sir, before joining politics, he was a professor of mathematical economics at IIT Delhi. Sir is also a member of the Planning Commission of India and was a cabinet minister of Chandrasekhar government. In 1994 and 1996, Sir was a chairperson of the Commission of Labour Standards and International Trade under the former Prime Minister of P.V. Narasimha Rao. Sir was a long-time member of the Janata Party, which is currently the BJP, serving as its president until 2013 when he joined the Bharatiya Janata Party. Sir has also written on many foreign affairs of India, dealing largely with China, Pakistan, and Israel. He was also nominated as a member of Parliament at the Rajya Sabha on 26th April 2016, and his tenure recently came to end in the year 2022. It's an honor for us to have you on board with the amicus curiae. Sir, I'll just request you, as all the budding lawyers are very eagerly waiting to hear you out, please share some motivational words to the budding lawyers.
Okay. Thank you very much. And your amicus curiae has done me great honor. I hope I live up to at least half of that.
Sir.
I actually have been in love with law and the practice of law for a long time, but because I originally went to Harvard University to get a PhD in economics, and I had two of the most famous economists as my thesis advisor. One, in fact, became a joint author with me, called Paul Samuelson. And but they both were very keen that I not leave the field of economics. So took a promise. Some of my friends took a promise from me that I will not take a degree in law, because they knew that I'll just be sucked in and become, in fact, a lawyer. But my wife is a lawyer, and her library comes very useful for me to do the practice. I have mostly done public interest litigations for which I don't need a degree. But there is Section 32 of the Advocates Act, which permits, if the court agrees, to appear for other people also. And occasionally I've done that also. I'm just now on my legs in Tirupati, where there was a huge attempt to sabotage the sanctity of the Tirupati by some hostile forces. So I've filed a defamation case for the Tirupati Devasthanam board, and I'm arguing as a lawyer who's been given permission under Section 32 of the Advocates Act. What I would like to do is just go through the history of how this field of law developed, and why it is now crucial that almost everybody learns law. And I'm particularly keen that women, girls join law and become lawyers. In fact, our tradition is that all the important portfolios of God are with the lady gods. Finances with Lakshmi. Then the defense is with Parvati, and similarly, education is with Saraswati. So, what else is left in a cabinet except these three main things? And so, I think the women empowerment can only come in our country if women, girls in particular, learn law and become strong, because it's a weapon. It's actually a modern weapon which is replacing the old weapons we had. We began, of course, with bows and arrows, and then over the years, as we evolved, better and better and more deadly weapons came. But for democracy, the main weapon today is law. And if everybody knew law, there would be much less crime in our country. So law is a profession, is extremely, it's for the national service. So what you're doing, people talk about how much money lawyers make. Those are fine, they also have to spend a lot for being up to date. So the question basically is that this is a weapon that everybody should know, and most of the people get fooled in our society because they don't know the weapons. They don't have the weapons, and the jargon then completely sways them. So what I would say is that today what we require is how to do the advocacy. Getting a law degree is not difficult, but then the advocacy, the amount which you have to study and learn and so on is so extensive that you have to start developing a certain specialization. And instead of course, knowing about all aspects of law is very important, but basically go for what you think is something that interests you. You can be a corporate lawyer. It's also a fascinating field. Or you can be a lawyer who works for these human rights issues and so on. So the field is open, but these are all parts of empowering the citizen to be a supporter and a helper of the development of democracy, because democracy is ultimately the only civilized system of government, where at least you can't say that everything is hunky-dory in democracy, but it's the least exploitative system that we have. Now, I have, of course, got a lot of interesting cases. I just finished filing and getting the court to take notice on deleting socialism and secularism from the initial part of the it is in the when the founding fathers of the Constitution met the preamble. They went with the preamble, which they said is given to us by the people, and it couldn't. And later on, it was clarified in a number of judgments of the Supreme Court that it's part of what is called as the basic structure, and that is, it cannot be amended. Yet, after these judgments in the state of emergency, the government headed by Mrs. Gandhi, with none of the opposition in the parliament, because either they were in jail or, like me, had buzzed off to America to campaign against it. The basic structure concept was ignored, and by a amendment through Article 368, which is meant for amending articles of the Constitution. But Mrs. Gandhi inserted these two. Now, the interesting part is that these were raised 3 times during the when the Constitution was being debated. Ambedkar was in charge. And that time, 3 times, this matter was brought over a period of 4 years when all this was being discussed. And that was rejected each time by Ambedkar. It was only put to vote once, but the 2 other occasions, Ambedkar himself rejected that he won't consider it. He said there's no need for it when all the articles of the Constitution deal with socialism and the other aspects, because the question was these names have become a pejorative in some ways, because it's being connected with an ideology, and socialist means you're against the capitalists. Now, our society, our Constitution was not meant to be selective. So I'm saying that these are every day there's something or the other. Same thing with the places of worship. where an ordinary law was passed, where it was stated that no religious place will be altered if it was standing on the 15th of August 1947. And I've challenged that also. Of course, in the Ram Janmabhoomi case, an exception was made in the act itself. But that's an unconstitutional act, and I'll prove it. So consequently, I will say every day there is something to be done to re-emphasize the integrity of our constitution, and I think lawyers are very, very important. But I would say even ordinary people shouldn't be. I think schools and colleges should have subsidiary lessons on law in terms of the Criminal Procedure Code or the IPC or the CPC, and basic legal knowledge, so that when they go to court, it's a shock that takes place for most people who know nothing about law to accompany a lawyer. And then whatever the lawyer says, they have to accept. There's no participation between the client and the lawyer. So that is why I'm saying that we today must recognize that law has become an extremely important part of democracy. The more people know the law, and more people who know how to get relief from the law, the stronger will be our democracy. We have already demonstrated to the world where democracy has disappeared from so many countries. In most of our neighboring countries, there have been problems with democracy. And some of them were part of one country and then separated out, and still the DNA being the same of all of us in this entire subcontinent. Yet it is India which is shining out as a democracy. And that is because we had in the freedom struggle this debate, discussion, differences, tolerating differences, and so on. So I think what a lawyer does is he articulates. Common sense can tell you something is right, something is wrong. But to structure it, that is what is the beauty of law. And that structuring is helped by the judges sitting, reviewing what you have said, hearing the other side, and so on. So I would say that learning law is something that should spread to almost everybody, in the sense everybody should be made to learn. Say even the housewife who's just doing nothing but cooking, she should also learn the law, and there should be television lessons for her. Maybe the husband will have a harder time after that, but but still it's something that we need to do. And the fact that women today have in some ways physically their own personal rights being affected by people who are stronger than them, the men in particular. I think their knowledge of law is extremely important, so that they don't feel helpless about defending themselves. And so what I have been trying to emphasize is that we are today in a situation where it's a kind of a cusp that we are in. We have come in from a time when weapons mattered a lot. And you will see that we had big wars. The difference between First World War and the Second World War was only, I think, 1920 to 1940. That's about 20 years. So, but since 1945, when the last war ended, and today we are almost 70, 80 years, and there hasn't been a major world war so far, because of the structuring of laws, the United Nations coming in with its own laws on many things, but all others participating. And so for a civilized society, law becomes that more important. So being educated is not enough. I have seen many